What's up, guys? So just figured I'd give you a little walk around here of the car, because there's a lot of messages, a lot of pictures, a lot of shit, so I'm trying to cover everything in this video so I don't have to keep repeating myself here, and you'll be able to see things up close and in real life, kind of. The pictures of this car make it look cleaner and better than it honestly really is, so I don't want to waste anybody's time. I keep getting messages from people like telling me I can get way more out of it. I listed it for $4,000 because I feel like it's worth $4,000, so let me show you here. Alright, so there she is. Paint is not great. I mean, it's decent from a distance, but it was clear coat fade. I think the side skirts on both sides, I believe, they're just rattle canned. They used to be silver, I think. When I first got this, it was literally like in 3 or 4 different colors. So I got red doors, red fenders, a red hood, a red, I don't remember if I think the hatch, I got a red hatch. This I painted and it faded to shit. This used to be from a GS, so it had the low-rise spoiler on it, so I just literally have duct tape over the holes. It's not super clean. This back here, this just happened. I fucking had the race car in the trailer, and I parked the trailer right here, and I parked extremely close because I loaded the car the night before, because I had a big race the next day. And then the next day when I pulled away, the tires were like right up against, like right here, and I forgot all about it. I pulled ahead and just skimmed the back bumper with the trailer tires. So that's, I'm assuming this will wet sand out like no problem, but that's, obviously I have to explain that. The tires, some of the tires, I think the right front is good. The left, right rear is completely bald basically. Left rear is not great. It's got actual tread on it at least, and the left front's showing cords on the inside, I believe, on that. What else here? I have the quick release front bumper shit there, so literally it takes, I timed it one time, it took me like 8 seconds to remove the bumper, including taking these screws out with a little impact driver. This thing's pretty low. It's slammed on D2 coils. You ain't gonna be able to see them. Once I open the hood, you'll be able to see them through the rust hole. There's a scratch here. That was on there when I got the car. The roof is you know, fading a little bit. This is also dirty too. Like if I clean it up, like I used to take care of this thing when I was driving it, just like a month ago I took care of it and waxed it all up nice, and it looked great. But now it's been sitting through however many rainstorms since I last drove it. It's there's some fade there. The back bumper, I think that was on this car when I got it. The headlights are one of my favorite things about this car. I bought the headlights off of eBay. They were just stock OEM replicas basically, and I got some cheap projectors to put in them, and they are awesome. I love them. Once I start this thing up, I'll turn them on and show you. Yeah, it's just hopefully this is capturing all the blemishes, because there's a lot. From a distance, like just people seeing me driving around on the street, like, yeah, it looks cool as shit, but then you get up close, you know, and it's not super clean. There's rust on the rocker panel on the passenger side. I don't know about this side. Last time I had these off on this side, it didn't have no rust, but on the other side there was rust. These, I on every DSM I have, I just self-tap them to the car. I know that's obviously a hack, but I don't really care about that kind of stuff. As long as it looks good from a distance, that's all I care about. And they fall off, like if you don't do that or replace the clips, even when you replace the clips, they fall off. I've always had problems with them. Any DSM almost, even 1Gs. Pop the hood here. This valve cover and that catch can is from my 1G. I'm gonna keep them, so I'll have like just a plain looking valve cover on it, and I'll switch the intake pipes out with another hard pipe. I got like 100 of these fucking hard pipes, so it's not a big deal to me. It's still on a mass airflow sensor. Yeah, here's that hole, obviously. I have pictures of when I first got this thing. It was just a shell. I got it for free. That's how I get literally all my DSMs. I get them for free as a shell, and then I put them together. And it had a decent sized rust hole. I started cutting it out, and just ended up having to cut quite a lot more out because I didn't stop until I started cutting metal and there was no more rust. So I sanded it all down after I cut it out, and then I painted it, and then I had duct tape over it since. I just pulled the duct tape off probably 15 minutes ago, but it's still not rusty. And I have the strut tower. The reason why I didn't fix it when I did the work here, when I cut all this shit out, was the guy I got the car off of had a good strut tower that he cut out. I don't remember the exact situation, but he didn't have it with him when I picked the car up, and some of his cars was at a different place, and it's whatever. But so I didn't get the strut tower for a while after. So by the time I got the strut tower, I already had the car all together. So that's why I literally was right there doing the work. I just had to, I didn't plan on swapping the whole fucking strut tower out, but I was gonna cut what I needed to and weld it in. But that's why I didn't do it then. It's not that I'm lazy. I just literally wasn't gonna go out and buy a strut tower when I knew the guy had one. But obviously it's a good strut tower. So Evo 316G, it's got the half radiator in it. It's Fick 1200cc injectors. Time belt and all that is fairly fresh from when I did the head. Hellman boost controller, VRSF front mount intercooler kit with piping. It's a 6-bolt bottom end, 7-bolt 2G 7-bolt head, so it's got the 2G intake manifold. Adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I just put that alternator in. It was used, but the last alternator I had took a shit. That's actually a 1G. That's actually really important. So this is a 1G alternator, so I had to, it's not fancy, I didn't loom it or nothing yet, but I wired up a 1G pigtail to use the 1G alternator on a 2G, because I had a 1G alternator laying around, so I just made it work. The fan is off a toggle. I got my batteries relocated in the back, so I got the 3 ANL fuses here, distribution block. One comes from the battery, one goes to starter, one goes to distribution block, and from here they go to the alternator. 1G cam angle sensor. The wiring harness, we do our own harnesses, but this one was not like this was a really quick make it look good kind of thing. I depinned a lot of stuff, all the stuff I don't need. Actually I don't think I even depinned them, because I never took I did take the harness out, but it was really quick, so I might have just cut the wires at the connectors or something. But it doesn't have ABS. I don't remember if I deleted it or if it was already deleted by the time I got the car. So that's under the hood. Interior, a lot of people have been asking me about that because I mentioned that I don't give a shit about the interior. So I got these lights in here. I like this kind of look. Sometimes I get there to, you know, put a full interior in it, make it look, you know, normal, but at the end of the day, I'm never motivated to do it. It had tan interior and I took it all out, painted the carpet black, and I got these seats. These are probably my favorite DSM seats. I don't know what pattern this is, but I love them. So it does have a back seat, surprisingly. I left that in there. This is a switch panel, so that's the start and that's the fan. This is these lights here, and then this one's the underglow, which they're not super great or super bright, so probably can't see them. But anyway, that's what those switches do. I got a Innovate LC2 wideband, a boost gauge, I have an oil pressure gauge, but the where the wire connects to the sending unit, the aftermarket sending unit, that piece broke off, so I or you will need to get a new sending unit. They're just, it's a cheap, I don't know if they're cheap, but it's a Pro Sport gauge. I don't know if you can use just any random sending unit or not, how that works, but yeah, it's got some interior. It's not, you know, it's not like it's not there at all, but it's not all there. In the hatch, I have a relay panel running all my aftermarket shit, so all my gauges, my fans, my fuel pump, everything aftermarket is on this relay panel. I don't like tapping into cigarette lighter wires or radio wires. I don't like doing that kind of shit. I like a nice clean, that's one thing that I really do care about, is the simplicity and organization of wiring. I love that shit. So everything's got its own relay. I can explain it to you down the road. It does have carpet back here. That's not factory at all. It's just something quick. I literally had a date one time a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should put some carpet in the trunk, because it literally was, there was no carpet back here at all. There's the battery, strut bar. That's about it back here. The muffler, I literally just cut this off like 3 weeks ago, because this thing, it wasn't like it was quiet, but it wasn't like loud like I like it. Like I like it when it comes out the fucking front bumper cover, but I don't really want to do all that work yet, or maybe ever now. But so I just took the grinder and cut it off back here. It's right there, just not a good cut even. It's just fucking with the grinder wheel. It didn't have saws or nothing, so. And unfortunately it still wasn't even as loud as I wanted it. Like there's a resonator up there, and apparently it's not straight through, so it's not even like as loud as I wanted it. I wanted it to sound like, you know, 3-inch turbo back exhaust straight through. So I started this up earlier, and just from smelling the E85, yeah, I don't want to sell it, but I have some plans and I need money. So anyway, I smelled the 85 and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but as of right now, I still doing it. So now I don't idle when it's cold. Like I had to warm it up, you know. I had to let it run for a couple of minutes before it'll idle on its own earlier. I did that earlier, so I won't have to waste time doing it now. do. Wait for the wideband. There it is. A little lean. I like it to be at least 16 at idle. You see it's dipping into 17s there a little bit, but it's still not fully up to temperature, so I don't know what direction it'll go once it warms up. But it's got Brian Crower 272s in it, so I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but it's got a little bit of a lope to it. Oh, and I got an antique plate. Some bunch of normal fucking idiots from Marketplace are like, the first thing they ask, is it inspected? Like that, fuck you. But anyway, I got a PA antique plate. It's a loophole. 25 years old, you get an antique plate, so you ain't gotta get no fucking inspection. So if I sell this, I mean, you could get a normal registration. This will last for the life of the car. I never have, once you get an antique plate, you never have to pay for another registration for the life of the car unless you sell the car. But I could take that plate and put it on another DSM. I just have to re-register it. I don't know how that would work, but I could, instead of paying for a new plate, it'd save me money there. But it's a couple $100, get an antique plate, and it pays for itself after a few years of not having to pay for registration fees. So, and like I said, no inspection. Cops constantly, they see me, they see my shit ain't inspected, they turn around and they fucking follow me, and then they spin around and go back the other way. It's pretty fucking hilarious. So the engine is really quiet. This is a really good engine. It's got kind of an exhaust leak up here somewhere, I guess. I don't know where. That's a downpipe, I think. That must be new. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't feel nothing, but it's a quiet engine, quiet transmission. Oh, the headlights. Turn the fan on. The heater, when I was putting the wiring harness back in, pretty sure I must have knocked off the arm for the climate control, because and it must be stuck on cold, because it's never like, it gets really warm sometimes, but it's never hot. So it's so hard to get in there. Like I was in there the other day trying to fuck with it, but it's so hard to get your hand up there, and I really don't feel like tearing the shit apart just to do that. So see, now it's down low 16s, dipping into 15s. Anyway, that's that. Let me show you what I've been dealing with on this fucking Marketplace stuff here. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm just trying to weed everything out here. Like, look, this one should be interesting. interested in trades. I literally am not, but I just out of pure curiosity, I like to see what I could possibly get. And 2002 Acura RSX, yeah, like fuck off. So anyway, I can't really think anything else. Good car, man. I've had it for years now. Everybody loves it. I love it. Been through a lot, you know, like, but this isn't. Someone asked me if, like, I forget where they were driving to, like Michigan or something. It was like a 12-hour drive. Somebody messaged me today, and first thing they said is if it would make a 12-hour drive, basically, if they came and looked at it and they wanted it. I'm like, yeah, probably would, but it's not the point. So anyway, that's that. I hope you don't like it. Honestly, I don't know what I want. The reason why I'm selling it is because this is another huge part of my life here, and I want a new chassis. I want a brand new chassis. I got one. That's a good deal. My dad's friend is gonna hook me up. I love this shit. I want something newer. I want a new chassis. So I'm gonna take my motor, my transmission, and all that bullshit out, all the stuff, my rear end, take everything out, and swap it all into a newer chassis. So that's why I need the money. So it ain't gonna break my heart. It's gonna break my heart if I do sell this thing. It ain't gonna break my heart if I don't sell it. So I don't know whose fucking team I'm on, but